Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies. And what is that sound? That lack of sound? My goodness, it's a quiet house. I dropped the kids off at Aunt Amber's house, and she's enjoying them and just giving me a nice little break. So I figured I'd spend it doing what I enjoy doing oh so much, making content. Even War Thunder content. I didn't think it would come so soon. So Operation Winter is upon us, as you can clearly see by the spam of Speedy Boy vehicles, and there is a cure for the old R3T20 sniffles. In fact, there are many. A lot of people complain about that vehicle, but play it for a while. You'll find out what kills it in short order. It is a lot of fun. It's a blast of a vehicle. Not so fun facing off against a Churchill 7 in a good old-fashioned, not quite Russian biased machine. You'll finish KV. We're sitting here at 4.0 Germany because this is the event grind after all, and I'm going to be honest with you. I got a little bit tired of playing on American teams. Well, I guess I'm still getting my feet back in the water of War Thunder. I've been not playing for a few days, and it feels like I've woken from a dream. But Operation Hot Trash is upon us. I mean, come on. Sorry, update Hot Trash. But how could you call an update Hot Tracks? There are legitimately some dorky people working on War Thunder, and that is something that I appreciate very, very much. The world needs more dorky people's representation, and Gaijin's on it, I'm telling you. They're right on it. But this is not going to be a video where I show off the absolute dominance of this premium heavy tank. No, instead, we're going to see something slightly different. Hold on a second. Sir, you've failed. He got a little excited to see me, and he's used to his 17-pounder just punching through everything. I'm not sure where he hit on my tank, but from that angle, there's not a lot of places you can punch through the stellinium strong armor of the KV. 1B finish. And just a fraction of a second before we took down that Sherman, we ended up getting breached by something. So that's not good. There are a fair number of very powerful vehicles at this BR that can take us down. Long-nosed Shermans, M10s, the Achilles, everything with a 17-pounder, and pretty much anybody that's got a straight-on look at our armor. And that guy might not be interested in finishing us, but his compatriot's taken a shot. And one of the advantages of this tank, even though it doesn't have the most powerful offensive firepower, and if you get crippled and surrounded like I am here, you might not be long for this world, you still tend to survive quite a number of shots, and bouncing shots can be enough to get you into another vehicle, and that's really what the focus of this portion of the video is on. The BF-109 F4, I've showed this one off a lot on the channel. You can see long air filter. We're rocking the Trop variant because it's got that free talisman on it that I picked up ages ago, and I couldn't have asked for a better vehicle to get that for. Enemy KV dropped the 250 kilogram bomb Fraulein, and she does her business nicely. Now this guy's ended up filling with enemy aircraft fairly rapidly, and I still have an extremely difficult time spotting aircraft after the last major graphics update, War Thunder 2.0, and you know what? Sound definitely helps. Now, unfortunately, on the ground, it still seems like all you hear is artillery fire, and it gets old for me, but I understand. I kind of miss the old soundscape where you could. It might not have been as realistic or as nuanced, but what you had was a lot better, reliable audio cues on what's going on around you. And as somebody who has generally terrible situational awareness, having those audio cues there to support me really helped me have some peace of mind. So instead, I feel like I'm missing more, but you know what? We're gonna do all right in this video. And this was the first, 5 or so matches today, and I really haven't had time to play any more War Thunder than that between making content. You're welcome. And not recording replay videos. I haven't had any time for that, but the kids have been very needy, and that's sort of one of the aspects of having 3 kids. It's a qualitative difference between having 2, let me tell you. And when the 2 that are in diapers are at some point out of diapers, then things will be a lot easier for me. But I also have to make sure to set aside time to raise my kids. I can't just be physically here. I have to be available, especially for those 2 girls that need me so very much to build their lives around them. After all, Daddy is every girl's first love. And now the dance of romance as an enemy. What is that? It's not a bear cat, right? It's the other one. It's the naval husky boy. Good aircraft, not great energy retention, climb rate. It turns sort of well, but not well enough to be a turn fighter, and it bleeds speed rapidly in maneuvering. The one thing it has going for it is firepower, and that it has in spades, in shovels and buckets, but that don't matter against one of the best energy fighters in the game if you're going to do things like lay on that elevator. So we've picked up, a couple of ground kills and 1 or 2 air kills. Not bad. Open up with the MD151 stealth belts against... Oh, that's always satisfying. It's always nice when the ammunition actually pops. And at this point, I was expecting return fire from some of those other ground units there, but they just didn't seem interested. There's another ammo pop and some nice hits into whatever the heck that was. So 2 passes, 2 ammo rack explosions, not too bad. Cinematic at the very least, and good for getting us toward today's secret mission as well as event progress. Secret mission today is to get high place in team and a win for our daily task, and then for our special task it is to get 3x top of the team trophies. So Thunderer, Mission Maker, Punisher, Wingman, something like that. On Hand, I think, is another one. But generally the way that I get that one is either by going for... I go for Thunderer when I'm in an air RB match, because you can just hit ground targets, and few people focus on taking down ground targets. So if you know what you're doing and you're having a good game, your teammates keeping the fighters off of you, or your rear gunner keeping the fighters off of you, if you know your stuff, then that's very doable. Otherwise, I just play the game, and eventually I'll pick up one of those top place trophies at some point within a reasonable amount of time. It's a lot more reliable than these special tasks that have you doing things like killing light tanks or shooting down enemy attackers, because you just might not encounter those. It could be done in a mission or 2, but more likely it's going to take quite a while. And because it's difficult to ensure consistent progress, as we get a nice start here with the KV-1B, as you do when you're not in a full up tier in this absolute monster. And that was a lucky kill on the Su-85. That thing can definitely deal with me if he's aware, and his frontal armor is definitely not an easy thing to punch through. I rolled well there on the RNG, and RNGesus was smiling down on me. God rest his soul. Anyway, It's been an interesting time getting back into War Thunder. I definitely still absolutely love this game. Lucky hit on the upper deck armor there. There's a cast section of the armor on the rear deck of the T-34 that's definitely not as difficult to punch through as the side armor, and we're looking for a good shot on this KV where he doesn't have the extra armor. And I thought I missed his forward roller there, but War Thunder had other ideas about where that shot went, and that's something that I've seen a bit in this game. And you know what? It's okay, because it's happening to everybody. It's obviously a priority for Gaijin to fix things like that. I think it has to do with netcode stability, and yet you just do what you can do. And it's always nice to take down one of those sweetie boy rapid fire fellas. He went for fire rate, and he ended up with getting taken down with his clipazine empty, the way you do in the SAV. I do have one of those. I should play it sometime. I've only played a few matches in one. I think it comes down to the fact that the lineups around the SAV are not really outstanding. I'm not a big fan of low to mid-tier Swedish stuff, but 7-7 I think is really the sweet spot for Sweden, and I think it's worth grinding to that point if you're interested in some very competitive and compelling vehicles. Now this is where things really... No, this isn't the good part. This is just the BF-109. There's something coming after this that I think you'll greatly enjoy. I'm going to spill the beans. We're going to take wrpl out for a spin. And that is the vertical stabilizer on the it looked like a P-63 gone. So he's going to be out of the fight. Even if he can continue to fight, it's going to be very difficult for him to get his guns on target. So I did a quick sweep, checking my tail and keeping my energy state up, and I went ahead and handed that guy off to my teammate because I do have Fraulein Bombchan here to deliver, and she does she does oh so hate to be late to an engagement. So we're going to try and get her to the party on time, and yet at the same time we do have some enemy aircraft coming in, so we might just have to ditch Frau Bombchan, and I do heartily hey, hello there. She's not getting dumped after all. Check this out. Hit on the roof armor. And he's all the way gone. Ain't no amount of stellinium gonna save you from Bombchan. Anyway, you can see the sky is filling up with enemy aircraft, and that's generally not a good sign for German teams. While Axis teams do have access to the most effective fighters for air-RB anti-air maneuvers, Allied CAS can shut down a match rapidly if they know what they're doing and they do it well. The most effective counter is actually things like the Whirlwind. Quick head on there because we do have some other targets to focus on. That B-18 can be a serious thorn in the side if you let him persist, so taking him down was a good move. P-63 is another vehicle that can cause a ludicrous amount of damage, and it can also absorb quite a number of hits as well, as you saw. Generally, the German 20 mils being extremely powerful, and now we're in a sticky pickle, and we get taken down by, well, whatever that was. American firepower, let me tell you what. Now, I've said in the past that I'm looking at spending more time in the Whirlwind, and I've heard tales of how ridiculously powerful this vehicle is in capable or semi-capable hands, and people that hate the R3T20 consider the Whirlwind because it's at least twice as powerful in terms of firepower, has as much as 80 millimeters of frontal armor, and not terrible mobility. It's a monster, as you are about to see. This is actually fairly typical Whirlwind gameplay you're about to see. You take down opponents who are focused on someone else or not firing at you at the moment. You're free to fire on the move because something is going to hit the enemy. And the amount of shredding you can do in an extremely brief amount of time is absolutely phenomenal. I happen to think that the reload rate on this thing is a little bit higher than it needs to be. This thing reloads ridiculously fast, even when compared with other 20mm SPAAs. And you've got two guys reloading 2 guns apiece, if that. So it's fairly generous. Those Teutonic lads are moving their hands real fast. And all of that makes this just an absolutely deadly opponent to both air and ground targets. Anything that doesn't have a massive amount of armor or fantastic gun handling, and even something that does in a bad position, is gonna have a hard time with the whirlwind. At least it's gonna be short-lived, because this thing will kill you pretty fast in most situations. And yet I don't see them used aggressively all that much. More often it seems like you're watching yellow tracers come up at you from the ground. Oh, hello, inferior SPAA. Goodbye, inferior SPAA. I was actually pretty lucky that he didn't hit us there, but he might have been on the move, and they don't handle so well when they're on the move. Unlike the whirlwind, which bounces a little bit, but because of the limited negative depression of the guns and just the general stability of the Panzer IV chassis, it's not all that bad. Now, shooting through the wall, of course the guns start aiming straight up, because why wouldn't they? It's been a feature of the game for a long time now. Not even sure if there are plans to get rid of that. Hopefully, I'm sure Gaijin will deal with the fact that guns start aiming all over the place from third-person view, especially down into the ground when they're looking through smoke clouds. But, you know, one thing at a time. This is Update Hot Trash, after all. A little bit of honesty here for the War Thunder development team, and I'm very impressed by this game. But you know what? If you expect there to be bugs, if you expect the update to be hot trash, then all you can be is pleasantly surprised. And you know what? You can probably tell from the sound of my voice that I have been pleased by this update. I don't really notice the differences between this one and the last major update, and I'm not especially looking forward to the new vehicles like the Corsair 2. They're outside of my favorite BR range, so I'm just going to enjoy Operation Winter. I'm going to pick up some free premium vehicles. I'm going to make progress on my Battle Pass, which is one of the best values you can find in War Thunder, and I'm going to have myself a good time. Maybe I don't have to spend all my time playing Cyberpunk. It's still going to be there for a while, and it's only going to get better, just like War Thunder. And how many kills are we up to now? This is getting a little bit ridiculous. It's just like this thing kills everything that it sees. Yeah, did you think that T-34 had me? Even the one with extra armor on its turret. This is the pay-to-win T-34. And he just jumped out of his vehicle. He was sickened by what was happening. He might have just left the match entirely. In fact, there goes his tank. Yeah, they don't all persist. And I think he just exited the match, if not the game entirely. The whirlwind has that effect on people. I didn't come out here to grief people, and the enemy team was pushing directly into our spawn. And we, along with a few tenacious members of our team, have managed to push back this Allied dominance. I love the face on this tank. Warble-chan, you are adorable and precious. And, where was I going? Things are just about to wrap up here, and we had a really good match. I've been having a good day. I've been enjoying my time back in War Thunder after taking a few days off to really get into Cyberpunk, and I'm still going to be playing that game. It's such a fun game, and I hope you all are having a good time. And if not, you know what? You can tell me about it. I will be around on the Toshio Thunder Discord. I'm not always paying attention. Again, my tactical awareness is bad there too, but I'd love to hear from you. Link in the description below if you'd like to join the Discord. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.